Can you get a college degree without buying a single textbook? That's exactly the question that one Florida college wants to answer. It's Tatiana EdTech, and I did the research so you don't have to. Today, we're going to cover the top 5 Florida colleges and universities when it comes to zero textbook courses. Spoiler alert, it's not UF, it's not UCF, and it's probably not who you're thinking. When I tell you who's at the top of this list, you'll see the difference between universities who take advantage of the AI boom and universities who might still be lagging behind when it comes to implementing an AI system that helps their OER initiatives. And for those who don't know, those are open educational resources that students don't have to pay for. Why this matters, in 2022, over half of Florida students said they did not buy the textbook. It was just too expensive. And so OERs help address this cost, and some say make students even more successful, reducing the number of D, F, and W grades. But no more waiting, let's get right to it. Number 5 on our list, my alma mater, Florida State University. FSU gets credit for being an early mover. Back in 2016, when textbook costs were at their peak, FSU said enough. They launched their alternative textbook grant program in 2016. This grant paid professors a small stipend to find open educational resources for students. They offered about $1,000 for 10 courses per year. They saved hundreds of thousands of dollars for students when it comes to textbooks. Kudos to FSU for taking initiative and saving students money. Now, they're number 5 on this list, and while I would love to see them higher, this grant program stopped in 2025. Right now, there are no new grant cycles announced, and the future of OER at FSU is not completely clear to the public. Hope to see them do more, but on to number 4. Next on our list is Florida State College at Jacksonville. FSCJ was selected for the Achieving the Dream OER grant. This is a national grant that only selected 38 colleges. The grant allowed FSCJ to develop 24 zero textbook courses. There's an entire Associates of the Arts degree that you can get not paying a single dime for textbook materials. I think this is a huge win for colleges across the state of Florida. In my day, this was unheard of. I was paying $300 for engineering textbooks. And I think this is just a really big win in one of the most densely populated college towns in Florida. So shout out to FSCJ. They're number 4 on the list because while they've accomplished a huge feat, again, this was largely grant dependent, it seems. I'm not really seeing plans for continued expansion for OER materials and continuing to expand beyond the general Associates of the Arts degree. So great win. And still lots of room to improve. USF ranks number 3 on this list because they have been true to the mission since 2009. USF runs the Textbook Affordability Project, and since running this project, they've been able to cut textbook costs from $44 per credit hour to $21 per credit hour. That's over half the cost for students, and I think that's a huge win. Why I'm ranking them so high at number 3 is they have a long-term commitment and system to improving the affordability of their courses. The Textbook Affordability Project runs on 4 pillars. They use a textbook recommendation service for faculty, an ebooks for the classroom program, where the library essentially purchases digital options for students available at no cost, course reserves where you can reserve a physical textbook, and of course, open access textbooks, their OER option for the most common textbooks. Coming in at number 2, shouldn't be a surprise, UCF. UCF is the largest public institution in Florida, and they, of course, have heard the pressures of students needing more affordable textbook options. That's why they opted to shift some of their most common courses, like biology, to OpenStax, the most popular OER option. UCF comes in at number 2 for the sheer volume of savings they've produced. Since formalizing the Affordable Instructions Materials Initiative in 2019, they've saved students over $50 million in course materials. That's not a number I could ignore, so they come in at number 2. Great job, UCF. Now, their volume might also be their weakness. I haven't seen any public indication that said UCF was taking advantage of AI or any of the other OER technologies out there that could really scale their affordability initiatives. Now, I could be missing something, but for now, they come in at number 2. And my top pick for textbook affordability coming out of Tampa, Florida, is Hillsborough College. Hillsborough College is a community college out of Tampa. I'm putting Hillsborough at the top because their system is so coordinated between grants, technology, and taking advantage of the moment with AI being available. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. Here's a really good example of what I mean. They drafted a version of a textbook for their fintech class in 84 days. That kind of speed is not something we've seen before when it comes to creating OER options. Last year, they launched their AI OER creation program. They've paired subject matter experts on campus with their ChatGPT team, their H5P team, and their Pressbooks team. For those that don't know, Pressbooks is basically a publishing and hosting platform that institutions host to write their own OER options for textbooks. The combination of ChatGPT with Pressbooks is something that I think is going to turn higher ed on its head. I would be keeping a very close watch and start playing around with your university's AI to Pressbooks or self-published options. Hillsborough is number one on this list, not only because they're so tech-enabled and tech-forward, but they also have a beautiful pairing with the Southern Regional Education Board grant to back the faculty spending the time and the vision to build towards what we're going to call a Z degree. Hillsborough College already has zero textbook fees in over a fifth of their courses, but that wasn't enough. They're building towards a Z degree, zero textbook course material degree, similar to Florida Jacksonville State College. They're the clear winner with the vision, the grant, the tech, and the teams to keep this mission going forward. So congrats to you, Hillsborough College. I hope this ranking of you gives you a little bit of shine and encouragement. We see you putting in the work to help Florida students. If you're in IT, instructional design, or procurement, OER is something that you want to keep top of mind now that AI has enabled you to cut one of your students' highest costs outside of tuition. If you have a question about any of the technology mentioned in this video, please drop me a line in the comments. Tatiana EdTech signing out. I did the research so you don't have to.